until we can get those things figured out. Any questions on action? Item number 1. Like item number 2 is a hearing on the proposed approving for the master plan new park to amend uses of properties for southwest corner Park Crossing and Wilson Park Drive. I think that's Mr. Pruitt.
Yeah, I just want somebody from the planning commission to tell me what they're.
Okay, it was recommended by the planning commission.
I meant from our planning department.
Okay.
I think Mr. Adams is here.
Mr. Adams?
Because we just did something just a while back, CC. We took a corner of it,
Yep.
made it residential. But I guess. Could you explain this to us, please, sir?
Can I explain the request?
Number 2. What's
Number 2.
Yeah. Basically, it was just an amendment to the plan to swap around some of the proposed areas. It was ultimately recommended approval by the Planning Commission.
And it's still all residential, correct? Still all residential, correct?
There's a mixture of residential and commercial, I believe. They're just swapping part of the commercial land round for part of the residential.
Swapping the commercial to go to residential.
Yes,
Okay, that's what I just want to make sure.
yes.
Thank you. Thanks. Mr. Calhoun, we're on number 3.
Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. Item number 3, review of Jayantaba Patel Key West Inn on Troy Highway. Mr. Mitchell?
They wasn't here on the last meeting, so I'm hoping that they'll show up on the.
I haven't heard a word from them, but I sent another letter.
Hey, at that time, on the regular meeting, could we just figure out, do they have a business license at that time, Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, application for a towing company by Michael W. Taylor. I think this was carried over last council meeting by Councilor Mitchell, not Mitchell, Marche, Mr. Councilor Johnson. And so I guess we'll discuss that in the regular council meeting. Do I need to slow down?
Did she meet?
We'll talk to her when she gets here on that. All right, item number 5 in the new business is review of Midtown Oaks apartment. Hope a representative from Midtown Oaks to come here. We're going to discuss some issues that we're receiving a lot of complaints that we want to see their way ahead on number 5. Number 6 is a review of Big Cat Package Store, aka Red Cow Convenience Store by Councilor Riley. I think the clerk made contact. They should be here on that item. Item number 7 is a resolution appointing the voting delegation for an alternate voting delegation for the Alabama League of Municipality Annual Convention, May 15th through 18th. I think we'll recommend at the council meeting that Councilor Riley and Councilor Johnson has requested to go on those two, so we'll approve that in the regular council meeting. Application for a retail liquor lounge, Class 1 license by MGM Lounge on Woodley Road, District 5. I have no issues with it. I think it's just a change of ownership, change of license, ownership. And item 9, application for a lounge retail liquor license, Class 2 package license, MGM 105, Quick Stop Liquor Store on Atlanta Highway, District 1. Mr. Grimes?
We'll have to talk to him. We're probably putting that off because I had originally told him that we were not in favor of that when the officer asked me.
Okay.
So I really don't know how it got on there.
Okay, all right. And 10 is the abatement. And that's it. Anything from the council before we get into our work session? Roster? Nothing? Work session roster council meeting, March 5th, 2024. Mr. David Cart to talk on Crampton Bowl and Patterson Field. Mr. David Cart.
Evening, councilors.
Mr. Cart, good evening.
I don't really have anything on those two. I put before you all what we have in terms of ARPA funds that we have approved of. So you see what I put on your desk there, the ARPA money. So I didn't have anything for Crampton Bowl.
Just speak on what you have.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
If you're looking at the ARPA funding, if you look down that column to the very end, you'll see Calmar Drive, $395,000. And then you're looking at YMCA soccer complex for $3.1 million, and then for $3.495 million for ARPA funds for the county, and then for the city, the $9 million in the column before that.
Okay. On the soccer complex, is my understanding that that should be completed by 1 May?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyone have any questions specifically for Mr. Card on these items? Anybody? Okay, thank you, Mr. Card.
Thank you.
Ms. Colleen Moore, Boss Youth League. Okay, Mr. Al Grove, Clean City Commission, please come forward.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the council.
Hey, good afternoon, sir.
We are honored to serve you. We remind you that 2 are appointed by each district, and some are at work and unable to be here today. Others are ill, and we do have some vacancies that we're waiting for appointments on. We have become very excited in addressing the goal of mitigating litter in Montgomery through education and pickups. Recently, we have done social media campaigns. We have had YouTube videos out stressing the importance of the visitors coming to Montgomery and Clean City. And through the hard work of Ernestine Woods, here in the middle, she connected with the sanitation department and was able to get the banners applied to the sides of the garbage compactor trucks. And we love them. Fernetta Riley and Julie Beard came out and joined us when we had that rollout, and we appreciate your support and your vote of confidence in doing these kinds of things. While out there, we brainstormed what else could we do, and we decided that we needed to put some banners up around town. So I got on the spot and ordered 50 banners, 4 for each district, and we have brought 1 sample for each of you tonight to look at and for you to decide where you want to put it, and then contact your commissioner or commissioners and ask them to get the others and to put them up in appropriate places. We're trying to get the message in educating our young people, 17 to 34-year-old ladies out everywhere, and that also includes Crampton Bowl, and we would like for Mr. Card to put that on the billboard at Crampton Bowl with your permission.
All for it, Mr. Card. Just put thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Yo.
Thank you, Al. That's it.
Okay, hey, Mr. Grove, we appreciate what you guys do with the Clean City Commission, working throughout the district and throughout the city, trying to educate people on keeping Montgomery clean. It's a big step, but it takes all of us working together, and we really appreciate the effort that you guys.
Absolutely. And we will look forward to additional funding in the fall and maybe an increase in that funding to reach out. As prices have increased with social media in particular, we need to address that because that's where our young people get their news and their information.
So I set myself up for that increase when I say, well, I appreciate it, right? I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
Zip ties are attached.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, District 5 is already up and running. I appreciate my 2 commissioners.
Thank you. Give that Charlie. Charlie.
All right, anything else from any council members during the work session?
Mr. President,
Before,
Oh, boy.
yeah, Mr. Mitchell.
I drove down Troy Highway, and coming into Montgomery, so many cars traveling through, and we don't have any type of sign welcoming them to the city of Montgomery on Troy Highway. Councilman Glenn Pruitt and myself share Troy Highway, and I would love to see some type of sign put up there to welcome all the thousands of travelers that come down Troy Highway entering into the city of Montgomery.
I think
Mr.
that's
Reed,
a
we
great
can take
idea.
note of that and see if we can get something from, thank you, sir.
Councilman Calhoun, Councilman Mitchell will be more than happy to use his 618 money to purchase.
We'll let
the-
6 and 8 work that out. Ms. Beard, someone on that end? Ms.
Yeah.
Beard?
Chairman, I just need to know where we are on our Collison Boulevard property. Can somebody bring me up to date on that?
On the property?
On the Exchange Park? The whole complex? Somebody from,
I think Mr. Carr can speak to it.
the last communication I had was like in the middle of February. We've been working on it since the 1st of January. They're offering to give us that, and so I'd just like to see where we are and what we're doing and how we can move forward, please.
Yes, where we are is we've got to get someone to do the environmental study on the property. We haven't done that yet, and that's the next thing we got to do.
Okay.
So once we get that part done, I'll work on that with, we just have a new park maintenance superintendent. He and I will meet about this tomorrow again, and we'll talk to him and we'll get that moving back forward, okay?
Because I wanted an Easter egg hunt there.
I'm sorry?
I wanted to do an Easter egg hunt there.
Well, you can still do the Easter egg hunt out there.
We just won't own it.
Thank you.
Ms. Johnson?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. Chair, Mr. Reed, could you inform me if anything, or maybe we can get the Cultural Affairs Director on the agenda to explain some new things? I've had, the Nehemiah Center is one of our organizations in the city that works with our Latina population. And over the years, they've partnered with the city to do cultural events. And they were informed this week by the new director that the city would no longer be doing any cultural partnerships. And I was a little confused because I thought that was the point of the department. And I said outside entity, so I just wanted to be sure if we would be planning all of that or what, because that's our main partner, and that's who works with the community of our Hispanic Latino community. So I'm a little off-put by that, because they were really, they pride themselves in being a part of the community and us opening up the doors and having access to information, and so that was a little off-putting. So just some updates on that, if things are changing, just so we can know, so that way we won't get those surprise calls like I received this week for Cultural Affairs, specifically for the Nehemiah Center partnership that we have in the city that has been going for about 4 years now, I would say. Yeah, First Baptist and Nehemiah Center is the
First
same.
Baptist as well.
And Mr. President,
Ms. Johnson?
we had been looking at the funding for the HVIP, and I spoke to Lieutenant Stewart for PALS and spoke with Levitate on if that would be a liable expense to move some funding from the HVIP over to them for their program that's already operational. And bringing back up the McGruff, and they're prepared. They have a working program that we've seen, so I was told we just need to bring it up in a meeting for a resolution if we all agreed on doing that, to use that funding towards the PALS program when we think about crime prevention.
Okay, let's discuss that over the next couple of weeks and maybe do it in our next meeting in March.
Okay,
Thank you, Ms. Johnson.
thank you.
Anyone else? Hey, ladies,
Yes.
Mr. Pruitt?
Two things real quick. Mr. Blaylock, can we do this in work session, or can we do it in council meeting, transfer some money to Mr. Dow for the,
You can take no action in work
You have
session.
to
You
do it
can
in
only
council
take
meeting.
action in council meeting.
right, I have one more question, Mr. Calhoun.
Go ahead, sir.
Walmart on Chantilly. Is somebody here from Housing Codes?
No, that'll be here in the regular meeting, I think.
And, okay, just real quick, Jeremy, can we write, it has become tent city out there, Atlanta Highway and Chantilly, the Supercenter. Can we write that up as junk, litter, and trash on a property, as far as Housing Codes is concerned?
I don't know if we can write it up as such, but I'll get with Mr. Tate.
Okay.
And then we'll look what we can do from a city perspective on that,
Okay.
and look at it from the perspective of an inspection and maybe even doing a letter to those folks.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Reed, Councilman Pruitt, maybe we want to send some resources out there for the homeless population and see where they could be moved to, or if we can
I
put
know
them
where
in
we can move
somehow.
them to.
We don't wanna call them trash and, you know, I mean, I
The
know what it
tents
looks
and stuff,
like,
I'm not
but,
calling them trash, but if you wanna
Well-
move them, get with me after council meeting, and I'll tell you where we can take them.
oh gosh.
They're in District 9 right now, correct? That's District 9, Charlie?
Yeah.
Just don't get them in, yeah.
Is
Charlie increasing his
Send them to
population.
District-
Corporal
we're gonna take
Lucky
them to
here?
District 3.
All right, okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Pruitt. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, before you, I think she had to leave. We didn't have one. She wanted me to announce, the Nat King Code Society has put a paper or a flyer on your desk in reference to supporting them on the March the 17th. On the event, I think I know they made a presentation at our last council meeting, so when it comes time you want to donate, it will have to go in this meeting before, if it will be available for the 17th. So she wanted me to mention that before she leave. Anyone else have anything for the work session? All right, meeting adjourned.